Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's that time again. Oh boy, this is probably arguably, I guess, what you would call the most well received of the three major quests and all. Yes, the Grandmaster Trio. This time now we're on the, how would you say, the second of the lot. Possibly, I would actually say that this is not really so much like, it's not got too much in terms of, well, no, I would be a bit biased if there was no puzzles. It's not the most puzzle heavy lot, but certainly combat wise, it's got a lot going for it. Like a huge amount. Also, I'm just going to slightly adjust this. Yes, there we go. That way it's just a bit more in line. So, indeed, as far as what's actually been going on here, still on my week-long holiday and all, although it's just barely started and that. Yeah, well this, how would you say it, corona pandemic, second lockdown, yes indeed, here in the UK, it's certainly, oh man, but before I even get into any of that, yes, I may as well talk about the history of how Dragon Slayer, the sequel to Dragon Slayer, we all know the classic RuneScape, classic kind of quest, yes, repetition indeed, where essentially it was one of the oldest quests as far as RuneScape's history is concerned. I want to say it was made sometime, I would say 2002, but I suspect there's a funny feeling it's probably late 2001, really early on. And this was their first big quest, taking on a powerful green dragon called Elvarg, Yeah, that kind, and back then it was definitely high tier, endgame kind of stuff. Back in an era where, everything, back in an era where, this was at the point when, alright, to give you some context, the very, very start of the game, Mithril armor was the best. It was just bronze, iron, steel, and Mithril. Like, black didn't even exist. And then, sometime later on in the year, black, adamant, and sort of eventually rune. Like, rune was, you think, alright, that should have started up there like dragon pieces, like King Blood Dragon is a dragon midhelm, Calfcom is a dragon chainmail, Dan of Kings have the dragon axe, Chaos Element has the dragon pickaxe, and by extension otherworldly bosses now. What else? The steel like the metallic dragons have the dragon plate legs, plate skirt. What's it? The spiritual wizards have the dragon boots. What else? Yeah, a bunch of quests have their own dragon weapons, scimitar, longsword, battle axe, two-handed sword, and mace, and so fucking on, that kind of thing. But indeed, there was a time where rune was actually the end game, like those weak ass, lizard demons, great demons are just pathetic now. Yeah, back then they were anything but, they were like the late game foes and that, and I suppose dragons was the only way to up the ante, so to speak. Though I think there was a time where Elvar was only dragon before eventually started adding actual dragons, like, green dragons in the Wildy, blue dragons in Taverley. I don't know when red dragons made their debut and that, and, I think they were a bit later on in the Brimhaven dungeon. And in black dragons, a mixture in Wildy and Taverley, Yeah, that kind. But essentially, yes, as you can tell, and probably gathered, this is indeed a sequel to Dragon Slayer. And yes, to get back on point here, the whole thing with dragons and that. And, to give a bit of context, why this is both, it's a close one to me, but it's also one that reminds me a bit painfully, yes. The reason for that is primarily, yes, that, oh, what was it? I forget the exact date now, but I think it was 23rd of September 2017, yes. Just 3 or 4 days before that moment. And it's like such a huge announcement, like that. Oh, I forget the guy's name. It's not Mod West. The ginger guy, but I really should be remembering his name. That, but yeah, the guy made a pretty much good, strong impression about being. I'm actually kind of a bit sad. I've not really heard much of him since 2018 and that. Maybe he's still there. Maybe he's not. I mean, who the fuck knows? But yeah, and also be able to climb over the wall, which previously wouldn't be able to. And that, but alas. Indeed, Elvarg's lair, where many years ago I fought, as well as a few years ago on this account too. I've only done it, I want to say twice. I don't know if I ever did it on Gielinor 635, a second account, I can't remember. And I definitely did do it on my first and my third, I know that for a fact. But yeah, just damn, you know, that whole announcement and just the way it was presented, you know, the sequel to Dragon Slayer, you know, you saw that first art, you know, impression was it Morcath, and now yeah, the money dragon now, you know. In some ways superior to Zora, in other ways inferior, but that's always a contested one, you know. For me, I'll say it depends. Zora scales, if it's like 230 above, go Zora, because, you know, the neeks will be better, you know, general money will be better, you know, so on. If it's not, then you're probably better staying with Vorka, because generally he does have more money overall, but the kills do take a bit longer, and it's also more draining on your food. And that, you know, with Zora you can generally be quite evasive in regards to damage in that, and my video just goes to show it's just that, but with Vorkav, no, there's no way of really avoiding damage, even if you're quite good in that, so indeed, this little extra layer here, indeed. Yeah, if you're curious in that, this video does go into a good bit with the famed and mysterious, is it, Dragonkin. And yes, Dragonkin indeed. And oh damn, this is certainly one for the books, and I gotta say, you know, as far as actually, you know, me going for this, indeed, you know, I always use guides and that, you know. Also, yeah, Spawn indeed. Fucking bashing with staff. Jesus Christ. But yeah, does look like a sort of not mud crab, those fucking face huggers from the Alien franchise. Very spooky indeed. Though there's a one that looks much more in line, but I don't know I can't actually remember. I want to say that was more accurate to the colouring, and that's opposed to the weird bluish one you may be seeing in, well, probably will be seeing in the Vorka fight later on, and that, yes. Indeed, it's funny that actually, because for all those curious, I've already recorded the Warcraft run, but I've not actually shown what it was like the very first time, and so you'll be much amused to see the almost disaster that it was, and that, but alas, I managed to pull through just in the nick of time, but that's for a little while yet. You're not going to be seeing that till probably near the end of this series on Dragon Slayer 2. But yes, so whilst all this is going on, because obviously there is a lot to this quest, and I mean, despite my slight grievances against it for just being around the time I got permuted, which, by the way, yes, you know, 3 years, like, for the record, this is actually the 30th of September 2020, so yeah, a little over 3 years, and I'm still, you know, fucking permuted, so I guess Jagex just has it out for me, and that, you know, like, I mean, it's only a permute, yeah, only a permute, but I just feel like it's such a rare breed of a kind of, you know, like, you've got to piss off, like, the Jagex, like, it always seems like, well, just, if you bought and you end up getting banned, it's just, it doesn't feel personal, it's just, all the text needs to call your, maybe one of the Jagex mods actually wised up, just kind of looked into it, investigate, but you know what, mute, it just feels personal, and that, really fucking personal, and I say, as I say this, there's part of me is just like, I actually don't really give a shit, and now that I've gotten used to it, you know, worked around it, so to speak, and, you know, as I say, in some ways it's beneficial, because I can actually focus on, you know, actually being words, playing the game, and that more so than I ever able to was before, but I don't know, I miss it at the same time, and that. Also, yeah, this is finding the puzzle pieces, and yes, for this map. Also, fucking lol, Evil Bob. Yeah, that's a funny one, considering what will happen later on. And that, you leave the cat alone, and the cat leaves you alone. Huh. Fun, fun, fun. But yeah, if you're curious, a good part of this does take place on not just Fossil Island, but the nearby island. I think it was called. Is it Lif? I'm probably gonna fuck up the pronunciation. It's either Lifkin or Lifrin. I'm pretty sure it's Lifkin, but I probably got the name wrong entirely. So who the fuck knows? But yeah, essentially this is all about the discovery of, you know, the whole island, you know, the secrets of the Dragon King, and you know what's going on there. Fourth phase, and I believe, yeah. Also dealing with Robert the Bruce, indeed. Man. So I figured I may as well, while all this is going on and that, because it's essentially I'm just going to be fetching the pieces, and once you get all the pieces, then you have to do a whole thing with matching together, and it's completely random, and that, like, what pieces you end up getting, you know, which ones are stuck, and you've got to figure out the rest yourself. So the solution is always the same, but how you reach it there is a bit tricky. But as I say, rather than waste a whole hour trying to guess and that, you know, you can cut that down to just a quarter, 15 minutes and that, and it's a way smoother process. So indeed, that is what I did. So once you see all that unfold, I may as well talk about the news, as I always tend to. And my god, I'm like, you'd be surprised, just 5 weeks, and it's like, so much has happened, and that, it's fucking ridiculous, and that, but thankfully, this is going to be a good, probably 7-parter series, so by the end of this, I'll probably have most of it covered. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So, you probably know this one already, but yeah, Jagex announces the second league in the form of Trailblazers League, which actually, funnily enough, only just a few days ago they announced the official date, which I believe is, I want to say, I'm praying I've got this right, the 28th of, October, so just a little under a month from now. And I am kind of anticipating, because Twisted League was pretty good as far as watching, you know, it made for good watching, I'm not going to lie with that. So with the second one, I'm not sure how to feel about it. It's like, I was kind of hoping they would do, like, I suppose Zaya's just, it's the biggest of the whole lot, but it's just one island, whereas all the others are kind of, you still got a decent bunch to do, but it's not quite in the way, so it's like, how do you get around that? So I guess what they figured with the idea was that this Blazer League was, how about you go about picking 5 out of the 9 smaller regions, and that, you know, also one, like, it used to be one, and that, like, Lumbers was, you had to pick that, then the other 4 out of the 8, you could just choose whichever ones you preferred. And that, however, I think at later update, they did say that they would make Karamja manager, because out of the remaining 8, it was just so weak by comparison that it would just be, almost nobody would pick that, you know, so they just made it mandatory. So now instead of 4 choices out of 8, you've only got 3 choices out of 7, so yeah, a bit more limiting, I guess you could say, but alas, it means anybody's up for grabs as far as Infernal Capes, you know, fucking, yeah, Fire Capes and all that good jazz, and that, you know, so indeed, the remaining regions, I think, is from what I remember, and there's Asgania, that's all to do with Falada, you know, Wyverns, Giant Mono, there's the obvious Wilderness one, you know, that's to do with fucking, what was it? Yeah, basically all the fun stuff that happens in the worldy, you'll know that much of the worldy bosses, Revenants, fucking Chaos Outer, oh fuck, so much fun. Then the Alcara Desert one, you know, that's to do with Alcarid, all the stuff to do with it. There's actually not too much in the desert, but I mean, there's a few crucial pieces like the Dark stuff, as well as Calfoot Queen, that may be helpful, I'm not sure. Probably a weak area for sure. Then there's Kandaren, that's all to do, it's a bit of a wide area, but it includes like the gnomes and that, and what else? Seer's Village, I'm trying to think of what perks, I suppose in the Ev and the Demonics would be a good one, but there'd be a couple others I'm probably forgetting. Then there's Mauritania, probably a very popular choice for a lot of people, you know, to do with, what is it? Oh fuck. It's all to do with the, Fear and Blood, Barrow Brothers, Slayer Tower, which could include Pistol Dames, you can get that Z anyway, but I'm assuming Z is not available here, so that might actually be a legitimate case that, you know, or just go with Zaya. But it turns out if you can't actually get to Zaya on this one league, then yeah, that's kind of the only option, other than possibly the Fairy Ring, but I don't even know how the fuck that works. What else? There's probably a couple other things I'm missing, but it is looking to be a pretty strong area as far as PVMers are concerned. Certainly indeed. There's also Tiranwen, the Elven Forest, and that's all to do, like, Zora, Perfidas, Gauntlet, Zalcano. Decent area for skilling as well, you know, I'm pretty sure that'd be a solid choice actually, as well as getting that Toxic Blue Pipe, indeed. As far as the last one's concerned, I think that might be... Shit, what was it? Yeah, that's it, Fremnik. And that's a bit of a weird one, because I know it covers Down of Kings and that, you know, generally all this Basilisks and that, but I don't know about... Goblin Dungeon is a bit of a weird one. I think the only reason I suspect it is part of it is because with the Fremnik Diaries, you have to do stuff in the Goblin Dungeon, so that seems to indicate that's part of it. It would be strange if it wasn't, like, you know, say, instead of if instead of being instead of it was part of Fremnik, it was somehow was part of Kandan because reasons. I mean, I know it's very close to Bertholdt. I think Bertholdt's part of Kandan, but I could be mistaken on that front. But certainly, as far as actual content goes, yes, there's a lot to choose from, but you're only allowed to pick 3 out of the 7, and, you know, certainly I know Lumbridge and Canada don't offer too much, so yeah, make of that as you will. Anywho, yes, so as far as actual use of that, yeah, it's just, indeed, the relics are also proving to be quite interesting in that, you know, ones, like, they've actually made the infinite run energy to be quite, well, they're a mandatory pick now because they're so overwhelmingly popular and that, so, indeed, no more walkers now. You'd be quite the fucking idiot to put it on, you know, like, off and out, although I don't know if you can turn it off. Maybe you could, there might be a few niche situations where walking is actually preferable and that, but yeah, that would be a very fun moment indeed to explore. Anyhow, yes, so as far as the relics are concerned, and I think the ones, I forget the exact top, the ones to do like whatever supplies you get, you know, like woodcutting, mining, all goes to the bank. Second one doubles it, and the third one gets you like 10 levels above. I don't know if it's combat stats or it's non-combat. Doubt it's both, but you know, they've got interesting strategies. Like one can benefit you early game, but it's not really useful late game. Other can be a bit slow, but you know, it gets better the more you work it. You know, and I think the third one is just is really good for AFKers. You know, that kind of thing. You know, so it applies to different play styles and that. You know, there's probably gonna be one that's like super efficient, but you know, at the end of the day, I think it's meant to be just fun and that. Though I will confess, I am disappointed they didn't go through like, well, if not for the really good trophy, like, you know, top 10, 100, I wouldn't have minded being, say, a top, but I suppose a better proposal. Instead of like making it 0.1%, 0.2%, you could say leave up to Adamant as is. Rune gets made slightly more common to 10%. Dragon becomes way more common at 5%, or I guess you want to make a middle ground, say 4%. And then finally make the new one, this like brown dragon one, which I don't know if I had Onyx gems. I would love it if it did, but I didn't really get a close look at. That could be the top 1%, and just something like that. So it's like, yeah, it makes dragon a bit easier, but it means it's also a bit more within reach. You know, so it's not really 1% still going to be just the same. It's just a bit more branched out because there's a huge gap between the top 20% to the top 5%. You know, it's like you can branch out a bit more, I feel, but alas, they just scrapped it, so now it's back to the same, you know, usual bronze, iron, steel, mithril, adamant, rune, and dragon. So, bit boring, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think we're just about finishing up with the map and that having taken so fucking long. Oh boy. But yeah, just this whole idea of, you know, let's see. I just noticed here, yeah, it's only just clicked to me there, and you know how there's 5 squares that's like not filled in, like, you know, instead of brownish or just a greyish. I don't know if that means to say that it's in the right position, and that, you know, yeah, because you see here, I'm like looking, I'm like wondering what is wrong, and that doesn't seem like it. It's like, you know, I wonder if it's, yeah, indeed, if it's that. Yeah, that was it. Oh, yeah, the fact it was like, oh, now we recognise what it is, because the fucking island's tilted around. It's like, yeah, that's just, oh, that's just dumb in a way, but, man. So, yeah, indeed, this is going to be quite the long series, indeed. Because, mind you, if you think this is long, oh, fuck, have I got the fucking tale for you, the third one, but that's for another time, you know? That is indeed. So, as far as where I'll stop, probably this will be a good point here. So, indeed, I shall be heading off, and well, you'll hear from me very much in the next time, eh? Yep. Till then, folks.